There's a moment that happens with women that most men never notice.
It's not loud, it's not obvious, but when you've lived long enough to understand how people really work, you start to see it clearly. A woman feels safe with you, and suddenly her entire presence shifts. Not because you said the right thing or played some kind of game, but because something in the way you carry yourself makes her feel like she can finally stop performing. She relaxes, she opens, and if you know what to look for, the signals she gives are unmistakable. Today, we're talking about 7 hidden signals a woman gives when she feels genuinely safe with an older man. These aren't the obvious signs people talk about. These are the quiet ones, the ones that reveal what's actually happening beneath the surface. And if you're here, you already know that real understanding comes from watching, not from asking. So take a moment and subscribe to Mature Instincts. This is where we talk about the hidden signals most people miss. The first signal is one that happens almost immediately, but it's so subtle that younger men walk right past it. Her breathing changes, not in some dramatic way, but when a woman feels safe, her breath slows down. She stops holding tension in her chest. You'll notice it if you're paying attention. She'll take a deeper breath when she's near you. She'll exhale in a way that feels like relief. This isn't something she's doing on purpose. It's her nervous system responding to your presence. Women spend a lot of their day managing tension, social expectations, the need to stay alert, the constant evaluation of whether a situation is safe or not. And when she's around you, that guard starts to lower. Her body knows before her mind does. You're not a threat. You're not someone she needs to manage or perform for. And that shows up first in the way she breathes. You won't see this on a first meeting. This comes after she's been around you enough to recognize that your calm isn't an act, that your confidence isn't aggressive, that you're not rushing her or pressing her or trying to prove something. For men over 50, this is where experience pays off. You've learned that stillness is more powerful than motion, that patience reads as strength, and women respond to that in ways they don't even consciously understand. So watch her breathing. If it slows when you're near, you're doing something right, and you're not doing it by trying. The second signal is how she positions her body when you're in the same space. A woman who feels safe will orient herself toward you without making it obvious. She'll angle her shoulders, she'll shift her weight, she'll turn in your direction even when she's not looking directly at you. This is subconscious, she's not thinking about it, but her body is telling you that she wants to be in your orbit. Now here's the part that matters. She'll do this even when there are other people around, even when she's in the middle of a conversation with someone else. If you're across the room and she feels that pull toward you, her body will reflect it. Watch her feet. Watch where her torso points. Those are the signals that don't lie. What this tells you is that she's not just comfortable, she's drawn to you. She feels like your presence is where she wants to be. And again, this isn't something you create by effort. It's something that happens when you've built a reputation in her mind as someone who doesn't need anything from her, someone who isn't performing, someone who just is. Older men have a natural advantage here because we've stopped trying to impress people. We've stopped needing validation from every interaction, and that creates a gravitational pull that women feel even when they can't explain it. So don't look for her to announce this. Just notice where her body naturally turns. That's where her attention really is. The third signal happens in her voice. When a woman feels safe with you, her tone drops. Not in a fake or exaggerated way, but her voice becomes softer, more natural, less performed. Women spend a lot of time modulating their voice depending on who they're talking to. Higher pitch around people they're trying to please, more controlled around people they're unsure of. But around you, if she feels safe, that performance disappears. Her voice settles into its natural range. She speaks more quietly, more intimately, even in a public setting. This is a signal of trust. She's not worried about being judged. She's not managing your perception of her. She's just speaking to you the way she would speak to someone she's known for years. You'll also notice that her pace slows down. She's not rushing through sentences. She's not filling silence with nervous chatter. She lets the pauses happen. She lets the conversation breathe. And that's a sign that she's comfortable with who you are and how you communicate. For men over 50, this is where your calm becomes magnetic. You don't interrupt. You don't fill every gap. You listen without needing to fix or solve. And when she realizes that you're not waiting for your turn to talk, her entire communication style shifts. She feels heard. and that's rare enough that it creates a bond most men never experience. The fourth signal is how she shares small vulnerabilities, not big confessions, not trauma or heavy personal history, but little things, small admissions, moments where she lets you see something she wouldn't normally show. She'll mention something she's worried about at work, or a family situation that's weighing on her, or a mistake she made that she's still thinking about. These aren't casual comments, they're tests. She's seeing how you respond when she's not perfectly composed. And if you don't judge, if you don't try to fix it or offer unsolicited advice, if you just acknowledge what she said and give her space to feel it, she'll do it again. And each time she'll go a little deeper. This is how trust builds with older men. Women know that most men will either dismiss their concerns or try to solve them immediately. Both of those responses shut down intimacy. But when you can just sit with her experience without needing to change it, she feels safe in a way she rarely does. And here's the key. You're not doing this as a tactic. You're doing it because you've lived long enough to know that people don't need you to fix them. They need you to see them. So when she starts sharing those small vulnerabilities, don't make a big deal out of it. Don't congratulate yourself. Just recognize that she's opening a door. And the only thing you need to do is not slam it shut. The fifth signal is how she touches you in passing. Not in an overt or sexual way, but in small, almost unconscious gestures. A hand on your arm when she's making a point, a brief touch on your shoulder when she walks by, her knee resting against yours when you're sitting next to each other. These touches are not accidental. They're her way of testing proximity, of seeing if your presence feels as safe up close as it does from a distance. And if you don't react with intensity or expectation, if you just let the moment be what it is, she'll keep doing it. Women are extremely attuned to how men respond to physical touch. If you tense up, if you read too much into it, if you immediately try to escalate, she'll pull back. But if you're relaxed, if you receive the touch without agenda, she'll feel even more comfortable. This is another area where maturity is a massive advantage. You're not starving for touch. You're not interpreting every gesture as an invitation. You understand that intimacy builds slowly and naturally. And because you understand that, she can relax into your presence without feeling like she's managing your expectations. So when she touches you in passing, don't make it mean more than it does. Just notice it and let her set the pace. The sixth signal is in her laughter. When a woman feels safe, she laughs differently. It's not polite laughter, not the kind of laugh she gives to be agreeable or to smooth over awkwardness. It's genuine, unguarded, sometimes louder than she intended, sometimes followed by a moment where she covers her mouth or looks away like she surprised herself. That kind of laughter is gold, because it means she's not monitoring herself around you. She's not worried about how she looks or sounds. She's just responding honestly to the moment. And that only happens when she feels completely at ease. You'll also notice that she laughs at things that aren't even that funny. Not because she's forcing it, but because her nervous system is relaxed enough that humor lands differently. She's in a state of openness, and that makes everything feel lighter. For older men, this is a reflection of your emotional steadiness. You're not creating tension. You're not making her walk on eggshells. You're not using humor as a defense or a deflection. You're just present. And that presence creates space for her to be herself. So pay attention to how she laughs. If it sounds real, unfiltered, and free, you're in a good place. And you didn't have to work for it. You just had to be calm enough to let it happen. The seventh signal is one that most men never see because it happens when you're not around. A woman who feels safe with you will bring you up in conversation with other people, not in a showy way, but she'll mention something you said, or reference a moment you shared, or talk about you in a way that reveals she's been thinking about you when you're not there. You might not hear about this directly, but if you're paying attention, you'll notice the effects. Her friends will know who you are. People in her life will mention you before you've even met them. She's integrating you into her world, because you've become someone she associates with calm, stability, and comfort. This is different from infatuation. Infatuation is loud, it's obvious, it's all over social media, but safety is quiet, it's private, it's the kind of thing she protects because it matters to her. And when a woman starts weaving you into the fabric of her life without making an announcement about it, that's when you know you've become more than just someone she's interested in. You've become someone she trusts. For men over 50, this is the ultimate validation. not because you need her approval, but because it confirms that the way you carry yourself, the way you show up, the way you handle yourself in the world is exactly what she's been looking for. And you didn't have to chase it, you just had to be who you are. So let's bring this together. A woman who feels safe with an older man will show you through her breathing, her body language, her voice, her willingness to be vulnerable, her touch, her laughter, and the way she integrates you into her life. None of these signals are loud. None of them are obvious, but all of them are real. And if you've lived long enough to understand human behavior, you'll see them clearly. The advantage you have as a mature man is that you're not looking for validation. You're not trying to force anything. You're just aware. You notice what most men miss. And that awareness, that calm, that self-control is what makes you magnetic. Women don't feel safe with men who need them. They feel safe with men who are already whole, men who have nothing to prove, men who understand that presence is more powerful than performance, and that's you. So here's my question for you. What's a signal you've noticed that tells you someone feels safe around you? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've seen. And if this resonated with you, do me a favor, like this video, comment below, and subscribe to Mature Instincts for more insights into the hidden signals most people miss. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who understand what's really happening beneath the surface. And that's exactly what we talk about here.